Hey, I know this isn't my typical. I would normally be outside, like recording a video, but we got dumped with snow, and I'm currently waiting for a class. But the reason I'm making this video is I basically had two goals with this channel. One, to like just document where I go, my life, basically just the like places that I go in my valley, like the amazing views that I have here, and then eventually go on a trip around and just around the country, like just traveling. And that's probably a lot later than I'd like it to be, but the second part is something I can do every week, almost every day, and that is talking about God. And that's basically the goal of this video, is to talk about the person who saved my life. So, my mom was a Christian, and my dad was not. I grew up in a mixed household. My mom took me to church every Sunday and almost every Wednesday, and she was very impactful with my faith, even now. My dad believed something was out there, but didn't believe in like a higher power. And it was it pulled me two different directions my entire life. I didn't know fully what to believe when I was being told to do two different things every single time I went to a house. And it was basically this way for 10 plus years. Then my dad got married to someone who was a Catholic, but in that relationship my faith was never deepened. Unfortunately, it actually made me pull away further from faith. And after that time, for 4 or 5 years, from basically till I was 10, 11, till about sophomore year of high school, I started to just hate my life. Like, I was not fully happy. I did not, like, there was small moments that I enjoyed, but that was basically it. And yeah, my life just slowly started to go downhill. In the middle of that period, there was a lot of family things that happened. I'm not going to go into much detail, but basically I started living with my mom full time. And it was rough for a while, not having, obviously, the like foundational dad. And yeah, after a while I started to get better. Like, I started to actually enjoy my life again, but it took a few months. And yeah. And during this time, I also entered high school, so everyone knows that struggle. But actually, aside from the new environment, of me going to a completely new school in my valley, not knowing anyone, it was the best thing that could have possibly happened to me. Week 1, I got my locker right next to one of my current best friends. I'm gonna talk a little bit about him. He moved to the valley a few years before high school, and he was like the quiet kid. He was the one that, like, introverted, always kept himself, didn't want to branch out because he was almost scared to branch out. And that first week, he took a chance, and he was one of the first people to say hi to me. And that moment forever changed my life. Me and him started to get closer and closer until eventually he brought me to church. He brought me to a lock-in at my church, which basically we just stayed there the entire night. And that started to become the moment that I genuinely felt loved. I genuinely felt what love was. And those people that I met that night are currently some of my best friends and some of the most impactful people in my life. I could talk for ages about them, but they are the best people in my life. And since that night, I started growing deeper and deeper in my faith. I went from a kid who had no idea what it was, or no true idea what it was, to giving my life to Christ and being baptized in a year, to 3 years later becoming a youth leader at my youth group. And yeah, that one moment from my friend changed my entire life. There's a lot of things that happened in between that I'll probably talk about later, but if that one friend had not brought me to Christ, brought me to church, I would not be here today. And yeah, since the changes, since I started going to church, I started to cut a few friends out that I did not want to be like. And looking back now, I wish I still knew them, still was close to them, because I could actually branch out and talk to them about my faith, talk to them about the amazing experiences that I've had. But they've all kind of branched out, and now that we're all in college, I don't really have that chance now. And I started to genuinely see like a physical change. I started to go from not really caring much about my life, like not really having a goal, to realizing that I genuinely want to go into ministry. And yeah, this is the start. It's small, but it's a start. If a few people see this, then that's all that matters. But I'll go into more detail later, but that's my life. That's my testimony. To end this off, I'll finish with the Bible verse. One of the people at the lock-in actually told me that they completely forgot that they told me. Might mess up the beginning part. I haven't read it in a while, but it's basically 1 Corinthians 10:31. For either eat or drink or whatever you do for the glory of God. That verse has basically been in the back of my mind for years, and has kind of been my driving force for many years. And yeah, that's my life for a while. Yeah, that's my life. Glad you guys could see it.